Hey, Saucy but Sweet fam. Now, I know you've been getting a lot of solo content from me over the last few weeks. Not many guests, but I love to talk. But this episode right here is quite the treat. I've been trying to get this guest on the podcast for months. Months. As a former Bronx baddie, as you can tell by the t shirt, I've lived in the Bronx for 15 years before making the move across the river to Manhattan. So I know a lot about what it means to be a Bronxite. And let me tell you, this next guest is transforming the Bronx's formerly bad reputation one step at a time with his wildly successful brand, Bronx Native. Now, I've been to his shop more than a few times and even did a few projects with him, so he and I go way back. And to all my New Yorkers out here, you better make the trip to the South Bronx to check out his shop. You will not be disappointed. And for all my listeners who are not from New York, thinking of taking a trip, while you're planning your itinerary, to see the Empire State Building, make sure you also put on the list to visit Bronx Native. Now, why this episode is so relevant right now for me is because it is hot as hell, y'all. And when it gets hot and summer starts, I reflect back on my summers in New York City. I always seem to go back to being a little girl, walking with my siblings around my dad's house in the Bronx, eating ices. I always got the cherry one, while my little brother always got the coconut one. And what better way to start off the summer than with the Bronx native OG himself? Yeah! Those who know that, you a real one. If you're interested in how our guest uses dope entrepreneurial skills to take the Bronx and New York to the next level, stay tuned. You are now listening to Saucy But Sweet with Allie McPherson, a podcast where nothing is off limits, where we talk about everything from romance, sex, pop culture, and everything in between. Sit back, relax, and enjoy an unfiltered time where we keep it sweet and always saucy. This next guest needs no introduction, but I am so excited to have Amaurys Grullon joining us today. I have wanted you on for so long. How are you doing? How are you keeping cool? Because it is hot as hell today.
No, it is. It is. No, first of all, thank you so much for having me on the podcast. We've been connecting since day one. You know what I mean? Since that project you had for school,
Yes.
and we did that documentary together that came out incredible. To now, working with LinkedIn. You know what I mean? And that came out amazing earlier this year. But happy to be here. It is super super hot today. Summer's finally here, and just staying cool. Right now, I'm under the AC. I'm chilling right now, but outside is cray cray. Yeah, how you been?
It's crazy. No, I've been good. I've been good. Today it feels unbearable. Like I think it's gonna be 100 degrees this week.
Facts. Yeah, yeah. No,
For
it does.
listeners, yeah. And for the listeners who don't live in New York and you're in a cool area, good for you. We're over here suffering.
Yeah, facts. Facts.
Yeah, and so I think you're someone who needs no introduction. But for those who don't know you, haven't heard your name, can you talk about what you do and who you
Yeah.
are?
Yeah, no, definitely. So my name is Amaurys Grullon. I'm a creative social entrepreneur based right here in the Boogie Down Bronx.
Hey.
And yes, VX. And yeah,
Yes.
making it happen. We've had our brick and mortar shop since 2017. This year we're turning 8 years old. And founder of Bronx Native, which is a brand. We like to say it's more than a brand, is a movement or to elevate the Bronx and to make sure that our people, are being represented accordingly through art, media, apparel. We do a lot of community events. And just try to create as much social impact as possible here. So yeah, beautiful journey. So it's still only the beginning. A lot more to come, and happy to be here. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And the X, you put the X up, Yes. And I'm wearing the merch, Bronx Women.
Yeah.
It's because
Yeah.
Um I lived in the Bronx for 15 years or 16 years, and I made my move to Manhattan, so I'm not in the Bronx anymore, but
Yeah. Yeah.
my dad is, so I still feel connected. Yeah, and so I'm just curious to know, like, what is your favorite thing about the Bronx in the summertime in particular? Like, what makes it so unique to you? And what's a memory you have that's so Bronx to you?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, and I mean, I've lived my whole life here in the Bronx. I'm currently 32 years old, so I've been here for 32 years, and it's honestly. summer in the Bronx is unmatched, you know what I mean? Yeah, as soon as the weather gets a little hot, everyone's outside, the pumps are open, people are outside the bodegas, the stoop, having a good time and just celebrating life. Every time I walk down these streets here in the Bronx, I feel immense joy, bliss, and I get inspired every time. From the people, from the character. That alone, that me walking down the street in a summer day, it's super Bronx, super dope, and super inspiring. Other things, there's a lot of things to do. Going to, of course, a Yankee game in the summer is awesome. This weekend we were actually at Fordham Plaza for the Bronx's Reading Festival, which was the eighth annual festival. And we were there talking about literature, talking about community, and that was a super dope event. Then we had a booth with some merch and all that good stuff. So it was cool. So a lot of these activations and events that spark community and make us talk about togetherness and talk about the Bronx and everything we have to offer here. And I'm excited because 2 days ago was the first day of summer, and we got
Yes.
a hot summer coming. So we here to make it happen. Yeah.
We got a hot summer, and I mean the huge crazy,
Yeah, I know.
crazy.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. And yeah, and as I just mentioned, I live in Manhattan now, so I live, Upper East Side, which is actually where I was born. I was born in the Upper East Side and moved to the Bronx. So I'm curious, do you ever see yourself moving out of the Bronx, or is that a non-negotiable for you?
you know, I would love to stay in the Bronx forever. You know what I mean? But I don't know what life has in store. Right now, I have no plans on moving from the Bronx. You know what I mean? So I'm here. But let's see. Because the Bronx is worldwide. We're universal, and we plan to take it globally. Go all over, even beyond the states. And all the major cities and stuff like that. So we're open. We're open for the possibilities of the future. So yeah.
And as you said that, I like in my mind I saw like Bronx Native in like Paris by like the Eiffel Tower and people in Paris.
Yes. Yeah, no, I love that. We're gonna manifest that. We get a lot of love from people from France, people from Italy, Germany, Japan. They come by, they show up on social, they buy from the online store, and they love the culture over there. They love the Bronx, so let's see what's to come. We would love to go on tour and showcase all the beauty that the Bronx has all over.
Dope, dope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and so let's talk about the brand. So I'm curious to know. So I personally know, but maybe other listeners don't know. Like, what was the public perception originally when you were creating this brand because of the reputation the Bronx used to have and stuff like that? Like compared to other boroughs, what kind of feedback did you get from people when you brought this
Yeah,
brand?
definitely, definitely. I think timing is very important, and I feel like the time that we started Bronx Native was like in the perfect time. Because for growing up in the Bronx, it was all negative stuff, not only from people outside of the Bronx, but people from inside of the Bronx as well. So I feel like when we started, there was a shift that was already starting where people were like, especially younger people, older people as well, just realizing like, bro, the Bronx is actually fire. You know what I mean? This is home. This is our home base. We have to represent. We have to showcase it. Because for a long time growing up, it was just all bad. You know what I mean? It was and when you said you used to be from the Bronx, you got the comments, you
Well, the
got the
looks.
stigma, the looks. So we started that, and it was honestly beautiful. Us. I was in my early 20s, very passionate and motivated, wanting to do something for our home. Me and my sister, which she's the co-founder, and it was well received. That face-to-face interactivity, that engagement, and really that the engagement from the community and our people was what made us tap in and lock in, fully into Bronx Native, because we were like, wow, a lot of people are vibing with this. This is something that is needed here, as entrepreneurs and as creatives, we're problem solvers. So it's up to us to find those issues and those problems and then create solutions for them. And that's exactly what we did. We pinpointed, what's the problem? Problem is that there's no representation. There's this stigma. Everyone's talking bad about the Bronx, but for us, the Bronx is the most beautiful place on earth. So how do we solve that, right? We solve that by creating this brand that is multidimensional, that is multi-layered. It's not only about the clothing that represents and inspires and empowers, it's also about the programming that we do. It's also about our social media platform and everything that we do. And yeah, no, it was well received, and it's been incredible. 8+ years making it happen. And I was again coming back to this Saturday, but we were at Fordham Plaza, and just the amount of love that we were receiving from everybody was beautiful, and just the amount of love that we receive in general. People coming to the shop, people showing up on social. It's awesome.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. And so, I know you're an entrepreneur and
Yeah.
that is not easy.
Yeah.
That is not an easy life. And so,
Yeah.
can you kind of take us like what is the day in a life? Like how do you juggle everything and do it so well?
No, thank you, thank you. Yes, finding a balance and prioritizing and structuring and scheduling is very important, right? For me, I plan out at least a week when it comes to my day to day, hour by hour plan, like schedule, like that's planned. You know what I mean? So heavily on scheduling, heavy on writing things down, and just staying on top of stuff. Yes, there's a million things going on in the world, in personal life, work life, all these different layers. You got to stay motivated. You got to stay, keep your eye on the prize. A lot of times you could get detoured or get off the route or the road for a little bit, but you got to come back to it, and it's not easy. Nothing in life is easy. This comes with a lot of sacrifice, comes with a
Mhm.
lot of hardships, ups and downs, challenges. But when you're an entrepreneur, you love those challenges, right? You love those risks. You love those moments. I like to say sometimes that I'm on the edge. You know what I mean? I live on the edge, and that it's not for everybody, and that's fine. Not everybody is cut off to be an entrepreneur. Not everyone is caught off to do these things. But when you're an entrepreneur, you sign up for these things, and you gotta love it. You gotta love the struggle. You gotta love the
Yes.
problem solving. You have to love the challenges, because if you don't, then this is not for you. You know what I mean? And I love challenges. I love, so, and again, and loving it, when you're in the mix, it could be it's tough. You're like, holy shit, like, what have I signed up for?
Yeah.
Or this is a very tough scenario that I'm in, or challenge. uh but finding ways to adapt, and finding ways to pivot, and finding ways for solutions, that's part of the entrepreneurial journey. And it happens every day. So we're here, making it happen. Again, ups, high highs, low lows. Sometimes they're happy, sometimes they're not.
Mhm.
And that's what it is. That's what life is all about. Twists and turns, and figuring it out. And we're here to figure it out. I'm learning every day. I'm making it happen every day, and that's part of that journey. And I've always said this: the journey is the reward,
Mhm.
and going up that hill, when you're on top of the hill, it's cool, you made it. But those moments that really count, it's when you're fucking, when you're putting that rock up the hill, and you're going, you're sweating and all these things. Those are the moments that you're gonna look back, and you're gonna be like, wow, like that was crazy. And those are the moments that also make you as an entrepreneur and as a human. Because if there's no pressure, there's no diamond, and we're trying to shine bright. We're trying to be the brightest we can be. So let's get it. Let's get in that fire. Let's lock in, and let's do it up. Let's make it happen. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah. Let's get it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so Yeah, and so as an entrepreneur myself, I hate the 9 to 5 grind. Us entrepreneurs, low key, like or high key, we really don't fuck with it, and so it makes us really want to take the risk even more. But like
Yeah.
that really is hard to do. So where
Yeah.
did you get it in you to like take the risk to like drop the 9 to 5 and really put
Yeah.
everything into this?
Yeah, for me, I've been blessed that I've been an entrepreneur since an early age, um, and I was able to have the flexibility to pivot and to say, "Hey, I'm just gonna do this." You know what I mean? Like I was grew up in my mom's apartment, Section 8 here in the South Bronx, Longwood, and I was able to, when you are younger, you're able to take more risk. When you're older, when you have a family, when you have to survive, really survive, is a little bit tougher to kind of go into, quit the 9 to 5 and go into your hobby or go into what you want to do, because there's so many other things that come into play, right? So I've been blessed that I've been an entrepreneur since I would say after 19, excuse me, 19 years old. Um, 1918, that's when I really locked in and said, "Hey, I'm gonna really do this. I'm really gonna make it happen." And I think that's when I had my last job. I think also like my 19 or 20 around there. I was working in a theater, in 59th Street, cool theater out there, and I remember thinking, just like, man, like I'm putting all these hours in, right, to get a couple of bucks because it wasn't even that crazy, like the amount of money I was getting
Yeah.
when I could really be implementing this time into my passion and what I love. And that's what I did. I said, you know what? Let me do my thing. And I've been doing it ever since, which is a solid 10 plus years that I've been in this entrepreneurial journey. And yeah. I've been, again, very blessed to be able to do what I love, be very blessed to be able to create impact and just do what we do out here through Bronx Native and all of our ventures. It's not and as I get older, I realize more and more how much of a blessing and how lucky am I to
Mm.
be able to do this, because not everybody is able to do this, and a lot of people get held back. But all those people, there is no age to be an entrepreneur. There's no space that you need to be in. Anybody can make it happen at any age, at any position in life that you're in. So go out there. You just gotta lock in. He's gotta, make it happen. Tunnel vision. Yeah,
Yeah, wow,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah.
Honestly though, like what a privilege to wake up every day and say I love what I do. That is something
Yes,
that I think most people don't get to say. Wow.
yes. Amen. Facts, facts. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think there's a lot people get wrong about the Bronx. I mean, I grew up with friends who'd be like, "Ooh, you live in the Bronx? Ooh, what you do that for? What did you?"
Yes.
And I'm sure you say you grew up hearing that too. So I'm curious, what is like the top thing you think people get wrong about the Bronx?
The perception in general, you know what I mean? I remember when I was in SVA, the School of Visual Arts. It was the year was 2016, and I was coming into school, and I remember the first day, you got to introduce yourself. So, I'm like, "Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Amaurys Grullon. I'm from the Bronx." And literally everybody was like, "Oh, you from the Bronx? What the like, you know what I mean?" Like even the teachers, like, "Oh, nah, you're not from the Bronx," or like all this, and like people asked. I remember a kid literally asked me like, "Yo, have you ever been shot? Like, are you okay? Like, have you ever been jumped?" Or, and I'm just there like, wow, like this is, and this is, I'm
Yeah,
in Manhattan. I'm in the
yeah,
Flatiron
yeah,
district, so it's not like I'm in another state or
yeah,
another
exactly.
city. I'm literally in New York City, and people are still were having these ideologies, and I get it because of the stigma, because of movies, because of music. That's the only thing they've consumed about the Bronx, so that's what they think about. And then I remember just thinking like, wow, this is kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Like I gotta do something about this. So yeah, everything, they get everything wrong about the Bronx.
It's crazy. Did you ever get shot before? Huh? What?
That's
What?
crazy. Yeah, in
Don't ask
fact,
me
I'm
that.
like, holy moly.
That's
But
crazy.
and these are real scenarios because I know people that have been shot before. People that have survived these
Yeah.
crazy moments, these traumatic moments. Again. blessed that I haven't been in those
Yes,
crazy scenarios. But I've had my fair share
of
of
course.
moments here in the Bronx, as anybody would. But yeah. That perception and that ideology, and that was one of the moving factors that made us create Bronx Native around that time frame, because we were like, we got to show them, what we
You gotta
really
show
about.
'em.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
Yeah, and you did, that's huge, that's huge.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so another thing, I don't feel like a lot of people agree with me. I hope you will, but I think the Bronx has the best food in New York City. I
Yeah. Of
no
course,
disrespect.
yes. Yes. I mean, a lot of people always say Queens
They
because
yes,
it's like so like, what I mean? They have so many
yes,
little pockets and stuff, which yes, I think
yes,
Queens, when it comes to like certain demographics and certain Indian, South Pacific, Yemen, and Middle Eastern, they do have incredible spots. Here I feel like in the Bronx, when it comes to Caribbean, like definitely Caribbean, like we really go crazy out here. You
and
know what I mean?
Italian.
Yeah,
Italian.
Italian go crazy,
Mhm.
Albanian. We definitely have incredible spots. Mom and pop shops that they're really cooking it up and making it happen. But overall, New York City, man. I've been to so many other cities, Miami,
Yeah,
Chicago, LA, and we have the best
we do.
restaurants, the best
We do.
food ever. Like we're blessed out here. Yeah.
We do, honestly. And
Yes.
what are your top favorite food spots in the
So
Bronx?
in the Bronx specifically, holy. Okay. Let me see. I have a lot. I have a lot. Um. Let me see. Who am I gonna mention? I just went to a spa called Carifesta, which is a Guyanese spa. Super dope. It's been there since the 90s. One of my favorite Italian spots, called Roberto's, Little Italy.
Yes.
Literally, I got a couple spots out there. I got Mike's Deli, best sandwiches out there. I got Ajo y Oregano, which is a Dominican spot, super dope. Let me see what else. A bunch of spots. I was just at City Island on Saturday.
There is summer. I gotta
Yeah,
go.
you already know. As soon as summer hits, we got to go to City Island. So I was
You
at
know what? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
No, I'm saying, yeah. Anybody in New York, you want some
yeah.
seafood, you better go to.
Yeah. My top spot in City Island, definitely Seafood City,
Yes.
Sammy's, Johnny's, super dope spots over there. Around here, my spot that I go in the neighborhood is called Misoneta, half Mexican, half French. Love them over there. Um, and yeah, I mean, the list goes on. There's so many spots. Oh, I want to major shout out to the Boogie Down Food Hall, which has just opened up at the Bronx Terminal Market. They literally have something for everybody, and the food is amazing. You know what I mean? They got Korean chicken, fried chicken. They got bubba tea. They got Italian. They got beef patties. They got vegan options, Greek options, Dominican, Mexican. Literally, like it's like a food hall with all of these spots. Super dope. Just opened up. So yeah.
Ooh, yeah. And also I want to shout out by my mom's house. I grew up in like Westchester Square area.
Yeah.
Unidad, delicious.
Got it. That
Bonfillo,
classic.
delicious.
Yes. Facts.
Dominican spots,
Yeah.
really, really good.
I think we might have the best Dominican spots. Definitely, like
Yes,
the Bronx has the best Dominican spots. Yeah, facts.
for sure, for sure.
We'll be right back with Saucy But Sweet with Allie McPherson.
Are you ready to become the best version of yourself and live your best life? Are you tired of feeling stuck in your career, relationship, and your day to day routine? It all begins with you. In order to give your best, you have to become your best self. Stop living by default and create the life you want. I remember when there was a time where I felt like I had no control over my life. And the best life coach slash relationship coach to help me put my life back together was Odette Godinel. If you are a hardworking, independent, successful woman who lacks energy, focus, and direction, feels overwhelmed, stressed, and anxious, thinks there's never enough time, puts your well being at the bottom of your priority list, feels a lack of connection in your marriage or relationship, feels stuck and afraid of change, Odette can help. You don't have to keep struggling, and you don't have to figure it out alone. Odette has found the tools to learn how to stop living by default and start creating the life and the relationship she wanted, and help countless clients do the same. Visit www.odettegodinel.com. She will definitely change your life.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
and I know we don't have much time left, but I actually want to play for the first time ever on this show. I want to do like a little trivia.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, and so some of these you might laugh at, whatever, but it should be fun. Yeah, so first question,
Yeah.
what neighborhood is known for having the best seafood in New York City? Is it one, Arthur Avenue, two, City Island, three, Riverdale, or four, Morris Park?
Yeah, City Island. Lock it in. You already know. City Island, one of the best seafood maybe in the city. You know what I mean? Like the
Hey,
best, the best. Yeah.
hey. Yeah, and so there's an upcoming blank museum built in the Boogie Down.
Yeah.
Fill in the blank. It is a hip hop museum, pop museum, rock and roll museum, or country museum.
Yes, yes. The Hip Hop Museum coming in 2026. Shout out to them, everybody working on that amazing project right near the neighborhood as well, right next to the Bronx Terminal Market as well. And yeah, that's going to be big. Hip hop started here 50 plus years, 1973, Cedric Avenue. Shout out DJ Cool Herc and all the
Yes.
pioneers out there. That's gonna be incredible. Yeah, definitely.
Incredible. Yes, yes. And next one. So I'm going to list a few celebs, and only two of them were born in the Bronx.
Yeah,
So tell me which two are correct.
yeah.
One, Cardi B. Two, Kanye West. Three, Ciara. Four, Busta Rhymes. Or five, Lindsay Lohan. Which two were born in the
Wait a minute. All right, definitely Cardi B. You already know High Bridge.
You already know.
Definitely not Kanye. That Chi Town. You said Busta or Ciara?
And Lindsay Lohan.
Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan.
Hey, not many people know that one.
Yeah, no, that was a little bit of a trick question. No, I was yeah, yeah. In my days of research, I came across that fact as well. That Lindsay Lohan was born in the Bronx, so that is a pretty crazy one out there. Yeah, facts.
It's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And then, what is the nickname for the South Bronx? Hint, it received the nickname in the midst of gentrification in the South Bronx, and most Bronxites don't fuck with it.
Facts, facts. So yeah, so similar to a lot of other neighborhoods that go through this gentrification, renaming, I guess. They try to rename it to Sobro, which stands for South Bronx. And yeah, we don't fuck with it.
No, no,
Yes, yes.
no.
We the South Bronx. That's it. We don't need no other names.
We don't need so, and
Yeah.
it's so stupid. I'm going to Sobro. Like that doesn't.
I know. But it is, you know what I mean? It happens similar to Harlem, similar to all these other, Dumbo, all these other places that it happens. But honestly, South Bronx just sounds so cool, and it's just like South Bronx, like you know what I mean? It's the best, And some people, fight against South Bronx, North Bronx. My heart is with the South Bronx, South Boogie. You already know.
Hey,
But I love the whole Bronx overall. But South Bronx, that's my birthplace. So you already, yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so before we go, I'd really love to hear, what are some new stuff we should keep our eyes out on that you're working on this summer or rest of
Yeah.
the year?
Definitely, definitely. We got a couple of things coming up. We have our monthly open mic series that is going to continue in July. We have a couple of dope projects like a documentary coming out, a book
Hey,
coming out. This October, we're celebrating our 8th year anniversary of our brick and mortar shop. So we're going to have a block party in celebration of that. And then the holiday season, we do a lot of community work. Some of them being our Bronx Giving, where we give out home cooked meals to the community, and much more like drives, like coat drives, toy drives, and stuff like that. And yeah, we have a new series on our social media platform called Things You Didn't Know, which we basically
oh, yes.
share Bronx facts. You know what I mean, that people might not have known. It's been well received. People love the show, and we're here. We're here to educate. We're here to continue to change the narrative and really showcase what the Bronx is really all about. So yeah,
Yeah, I love that. I might come out for the 8-year anniversary.
come through October.
Years. Wow.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Because when we connected, did we have the shop already, or yeah, we had the shop. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
This is a
But
long
that
time
was
ago. This is
early.
a
That
month
was
ago.
2018. That was like 2018, right?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, yeah, which, we were at that time, we were only out for like 2 years, and now 8 years later, after the pandemic, which was crazy, we still here, still rolling, still making it happen, and we want to continue doing it forever. So let's get it.
Yeah, not a lot of businesses made it out of that tough time, but y'all did
Yeah,
it.
yeah, no, 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 yeah. It's that's a story in its own, and I hope the best for all the business owners out there, all the entrepreneurs, all the people that are hustling every day to make it happen. It's not easy, but y'all got it. Let's keep going. Let's do it.
You know what? Shout out to New York, man. Shout out to New Yorkers. Maybe
Yes,
nobody like them.
yes. There's no one like us. You know what I mean? Again, I'm super proud to be from New York City, super proud to be from the Bronx. And it comes with a lot, we a different breed,
Different.
we a different kind of human. You know what I mean?
For real.
We're animals, in a good way.
Anywhere you
Yeah,
go, when you travel and
yeah.
that's a New Yorker. You could
Yeah. Oh,
see
yeah, yeah. No,
that
definitely. It's,
hustle,
and
you
just
know?
we're like the culture capital of the world. Yes, there's been other cities that have been really impactful, like Atlanta, LA, but I think we're coming back home, baby. New
Coming
York
back home.
City. We
You know?
here, man. We really impact everything: fashion, music, culture. And it's a beautiful pot of diversity and so much layers and beauty. you know Again, it's not easy, it's not for everybody,
Oh,
but if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere,
I know
you know.
that's right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know that's right. That's a
Yes.
perfect segue to the outro. That is good.
Let's do it.
Uh, yeah, well, thank you so much for coming on the show. You are welcome anytime.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, thanks for having me. And again, thank you so much for everything, from the documentary we did a couple years ago, 2018, to our latest, connection with LinkedIn that came out earlier this year, to what's everything's to come, and I hope the major success for your podcast, for your brand, and everything you're doing. Definitely.
Oh, thank you so much. We manifesting all of that right here. We're taking it all in. That
Yes.
is so great. Well, so,
Thank you.
yes, and to all my listeners, thank you for tuning into Saucy But Sweet with Alan McPherson. See you next time.